The Blizzard is an okay episode of Rugrats, but I didn't love it. This is the second segment of the 12th episode of the third season, and Chuckie actually narrates part of this, which is a bit interesting because Chuckie is not normally a choice for a narrator, so that worked quite well. And he's narrating it as if he's reading out an expedition diary, a diary that one would keep well on an expedition. And it was okay. I didn't mind that concept or that part of it, but the actual narrative wasn't that interesting. But the animation was really lovely to look at because everybody is over at Tommy's house apart from Betty and Dee Dee, who are next door, and there's a blizzard. And apparently Dee Dee's going to stay next door on account of the blizzard, even though it wasn't that bad at the time. But nevertheless, everybody else, therefore, stays overnight at Tommy's house. And in the morning, when Tommy, Chuckie, Phil, and Lil wake up, there's a blanket of snow on the ground. And they all go outside to play. They look wonderful in their little snow outfits. Angelica's there too. And I loved seeing that animation. First of all, the snow I thought looked great, very white and fluffy. And then seeing the babies in their snow outfits, bundled up in their jackets. It was just something a bit different to look at, and I really liked the design of the outfits. I thought everything worked very well. Now, previously, the night before, Chuckie's favourite fire engine toy had broken, and it was something that Santa had given to him for Christmas. Now, one of the adults remarked that with the snow blizzard, it was like they were in the North Pole, and Chuckie overheard this. So in the morning, he gets the idea that they must be near the North Pole with all this snow. They can just go and find Santa Claus, and he'll fix the broken fire engine. There is some logic in there somewhere. And Chuckie must really care about this fire engine because he was the one who proposed this adventure, which is very rare for Chuckie. And Tommy obviously agrees straight away, and off they go with their little wagon, and they go in search of Santa. And this is the bit where we get Chuckie narrating it. He does give the date, but the dates are not proper dates and proper months, which I thought was rather adorable. And we see their imagination and what it looks like from their, from inside their minds, where it actually looks like they're being pulled on a sled by Spike the dog. And yeah, I didn't mind it. I would have liked it to cut back to the real world a few more times. And when it does, it's very brief. For example, Angelica enters this narrative at one point, and it very briefly cuts back to what it looks like in their backyard before almost immediately cutting back to this expedition and what it looks like in their imagination. And I feel like they could have cut back a little bit more and shown us what it was like in the garden, but at the same time, I didn't mind it too much. It was a pretty interesting concept. Ordinarily, I don't love the episodes where we have their imagination and that's what we see, but this one actually worked quite well because generally we were just looking at snow most of the time anyway. So I didn't mind it. Phil and Lil were adorable. I think it worked very well that they were there as well. They didn't have to be, but I think it was a nice addition. And Angelica's role was not too bad. She definitely provided some interesting perspectives that the babies perhaps didn't. So I didn't mind it. The blizzard's not one of my all-time favourites, but we do get to see them in little snow clothes, which is very cute. And Chuckie had a very different personality here. It's just chipping away another layer of Chuckie to see different sides to him and how he feels and responds to different kinds of situations, which feels very realistic. Absolutely. So the blizzard might not exactly be my favourite from season 3, but it's not too bad.